Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to HealMyTajweed, helping you read. Now, I'm not even sure if we are on. Now, if you're joining, please write something in the chat section below. Let me know if you can hear me okay. I'm hoping the microphone is fine and I'm hoping you can hear me, inshallah. Let's start again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to HealMyTajweed, helping you read. Now, if you're just joining us on this channel, we try to help you develop a relationship with the Quran, starting with Tajweed. But there's a lot more than just Tajweed when it comes to the Quran. There's Arabic, there's fiqh, there's Qaeedah, there's tafsir. But we start somewhere, and the thing that I can help you with personally is the Tajweed aspect, at least to start with, inshallah. So you can subscribe and enable the bell notification icon. Inshallah, you can be notified of our future uploads and follow our journey. So, I also have a second channel called HealMyTech. I'm sure I've mentioned it before. So if you ever want to go to check it out and give me some love there, I deal with tech stuff. Obviously, it's nothing to do with the deen or anything else. But feel free. Let me show you on the screen right now. Full screen where we are. There you go. If you see, that's me there. It's called HealMyTech. Only tech stuff, so that's my main channel actually, inshallah. So go there and give me some love. I'll put the link below in the description at some point. Okay, so is anyone here? Say salam to me, someone, inshallah, so I know you can hear me. Can you actually hear me? I don't want to talk because sometimes I've had problems with this setup and the setting. Someone at least tell me, can you hear me? Is the audio working fine? Is the microphone okay? Anyone? Inshallah. I'm going to pretend you can hear me, inshallah. Okay, so the topic for today is going to be free Tajweed classes online and locally. And there is a special Muslim Revert course coming up. And obviously, like I mentioned before, the new Madrassah launch, inshallah, which is going to happen on the 1st of November 2019. That's in a couple of weeks. So first, let's start with the new madrasa opening. It's going to be based in London in N18, and there are details which are on the social media platforms, but I can show you a bit more precisely if we go to my current free crappy Google website, because my website person isn't there at the moment. So if you can check that on this site here, which is sites.google.com /view HealMyTajweed. And if you go to the Madrassah tab, there's going to be details about how you can access the application form, the terms and conditions, the location, and the various other details like the timings and stuff. Now, predominantly, it is going to be for children, Monday to Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. inshallah. However, we're also going to be organizing adult classes during daytime weekdays. This is not confirmed for the timings because I'm waiting to hear from people who are interested. So if you want to join some adult courses, can you get in touch with myself on the various details? It's HealMyTajweed@gmail.com, on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube, obviously, and you can find other details on the site I've just sent you. And just register your interest, and we will try to cater for a couple of courses for adults daytime. Okay, as for weekends, right now, it will depend how many interests there will be for weekend classes for children and adults. We are not going to launch the weekend classes on day one because we don't have any interest just yet. But if we do have enough, then we will, inshallah. On that note, I need to make this very clear that there is a lot that can be done when we launch a new thing like a madrasa. And I'm doing what I can, but if there's anyone who can help with any aspect of a launch, whether it's administration or setting up, or they know anything to do with filming, audio, or paperwork or marketing, or even helping with the teaching from an assistance point of view, if you are not very good with Tajweed, then please get in touch, because I will not be able to take a lot of students by myself, and it's difficult to find teachers and who is willing to do this kind of project, because we have a very forward thinking in terms of using tech to make the madrasa a bit more, I would say, interesting and up to date. Still, we're keeping the traditional method of teaching, but we're using tech to make it accessible to everyone. And the whole point is accessible, because I've had a lot of people contact me from all over the world, countries I don't even know of, and they need some sort of resources. They don't always have local access, and it's a problem for a lot of people. So if you have any inclination towards doing a project like this, if you want to participate, even if you want to learn a bit of Tajweed, please get in touch with myself. We will only create services according to the type of resources we have, and the most important one at the moment is going to be physically having people who are willing to help in the project. Okay, inshallah. So get in touch. No one has told me whether they are seeing me yet, so I'm carrying or hearing me. Okay, so where are we? For some reason I can't see myself now, guys. Is there anyone that can see me? I'm a bit worried that the stream isn't working because no one has said anything. I'm going to check from a different phone if I'm actually live, because that doesn't make sense. I don't know why it happens, but it happens sometimes. I'm trying to live stream and let's see. Oh yeah. Okay, for some reason I can see you on the different account, but I can't see the chat happening here. I don't know why. So I'm gonna keep this one to refer to the chats. Let me just say salam. Muhammad Ali, wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you for letting me know. I'm very sorry, but for some reason on my screen right now, nothing is giving me the chat history for some reason. I don't know why. It's quite weird, but I'm gonna check the chat here. Okay. So Adam Ali, my name is Sarah, okay, and we have Sukado Jama. We can see you and hear you, mashallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome everyone. This is quite strange. YouTube doesn't always work for me. I don't know why. Alhamdulillah. Okay, so if anyone wants to give any contribution for super chats, feel free to do this, and we'll put everything back into the channel HealMyTajweed. Okay, so where were we? Right, so the madrasa, now the vision is always going to be teaching people locally, whether it's adults or children. In fact, I'm going to insist that maybe children should take a back seat and let the adults take some lessons first and foremost, because I want the adults to teach their children, because we have far too many excuses. And I start with myself. I have a lot of excuses why I don't pursue much more education in my spare time. And yes, we all have spare time. On that note, 3 days ago, in this new place, I tried to create a log of my activities from early, as in about 6 a.m. until about 10 p.m. night time. And it's a lot of time. And what I found out when I sat down and wrote down exactly everything I was doing during the day, there was so much time that I wasted. And even for someone like me, if I'm able to waste time, and I'm quite busy, then you can imagine the rest of us. And I can remember when I used to waste even more time. So this excuse from adults that we don't have time is absolute nonsense. I don't believe anyone who tell me they don't have time, unless you are being held against your will somewhere. Okay, fair enough. Then again, you will have lots of time. It's just you won't have freedom. But anyone else, no. Everyone has time. You don't need to have 1 hour every day, but you have 5 minutes a day minimum. No one can argue that, inshallah. Okay, and that includes for me as well. So I want the adults to learn, and we are going to try our best to give adults local lessons and children. The difference with our madrasa is that I want to, inshallah, put those lessons online at the same time, right? And I'm talking about streaming. We most probably will do it on YouTube, but there are some problems coming up with YouTube because of their kids and kids channels changes, which will happen from January. I'm not sure how this is going to impact our channel, but the idea is to show some transparency when we're trying to teach, and we're trying to show the methods of learning for the children. The adults can be the same. We will teach you, inshallah, locally in a class, but we will stream the classes online for free for everyone to benefit from, inshallah. Whether it's going to be weekdays or weekends or normal madrasa 5 to 7, understand this, we want to put the lesson on there for everyone, and not just lessons here and there. A structured course starting from basic Qaeedah, from Alif Bata, all the way to as far as we can to Quran, inshallah. Okay? And I'm going to make it clear to everyone as well, I'm not saying that I am a teacher or the teacher. I'm only going to be a facilitator. I am a student. I want to learn. I want you to learn with me. I want us to learn together. And whatever we can't learn, we will find the right resources, inshallah. Yes, I can help you learn. I can, kind of teach, but I don't want to call myself a teacher. I hope that's clear. I need teacher myself. I need teachers. And inshallah, if you're a teacher and you're looking at this and you're watching this, I would definitely need your help to either teach or at least supervise, inshallah. But for what we can do, let's try and learn together, okay? Now, who's here? Muhammad Ali says, I have memorized up to Surah Al-Humaza and for my Tajweed. MashaAllah, I would love to hear you, Muhammad Ali. So whenever you want to recite with us, you can maybe even correct us if we're making mistakes, inshallah. Okay. Now, that's out of the way in terms of availability. Now, who's going to be able to join? This is where it gets a bit tricky. You know how sometimes when we have a free offer, everyone wants free stuff, whether or not you're going to use it. So I'm not saying you should not access free stuff. I'm saying that if sometimes when things are free, people don't value it. Now, I am a very, very strict person when it comes to teaching and learning. You can ask any students who's been with us, and I'm trying to make myself even more responsible. It's very hard. One of the things I'm trying to learn and respect is timekeeping, which is very difficult to keep, but it has to be done. So I'm going to make it a condition that if you want to learn with us, please respect our time. Please respect your time. Don't waste time. Don't waste mine. Don't waste yours. And we're going to be very, very strict on that. Okay, inshallah. The second thing that I'm going to say is believe that you can correct your recitation, no doubt. Don't have a single doubt. Do not believe anyone who says that they are unable or they find it very, very hard. It is harder for some people, but it is not hard, certainly not. If you don't believe me, believe in what Allah has revealed, that He has made the Quran easy for anyone to memorize, to ponder over, etc. Correct? It is easy. I've said this often to a lot of students and parents, unless someone has physical impairment, and I mean like a deformation, an accident, or born with some sort of, problem, then anyone else, including people who stutter, or even lisping, subhanallah, I have seen it. Students, if they are taught correctly, can correct their recitation. There is not one student that I have met so far that, alhamdulillah, hasn't been able to correct recitation. If you don't believe me, you can find on YouTube or online so many examples of people who maybe they suffer from dyslexia, maybe they suffer from other forms of learning disability or learning difficulty, but when you hear them recite the Quran, subhanallah, they are much better reciters than I could ever dream to be. And it is amazing. When it comes to Quran, Allah will help you if you're genuinely trying to study His book and get closer to Him. And that includes myself. And I have to remind myself of this because I get lazy as well. So don't doubt yourself that you cannot learn or you cannot correct. Maybe it will take you longer time, of course, but it can be done. And do you have to correct the whole of the Quran? Of course you don't. You start with Surah Al-Fatiha. This is the most important one for your salah. You start by correcting that. And then you start by, in my opinion, you should start with the last surah, the last juz, Surah An-Nas, Surah Al-Falaq. And these are easy surahs to master before you can tackle the bigger surahs. But, some people prefer to start from Baqarah. Khair, no problem. I prefer from the back. So you start. So all I'm saying is you learn to correct Al-Fatiha and then you learn to correct the small surahs gradually. Take your time, but it can be done. The mistake that a lot of people make is that speed. They want to finish the Quran in 2 years, especially from parents who want to push their kids. And that's where it goes haywire. So while you study with us, if you want to learn with us, we say, no, we learn one surah correctly before moving to the next. But before we learn that surah, we learn the rules of the letters of the surah. So we first start with the Makhaarij, where the letters come from, and we master that. We understand where they come from. 2 lessons, general Makhaarij and specific Makhaarij. Then we move to the as-sifat, some of the characteristics and we start implementing and correcting these characteristics, and characteristics is a huge topic. Then we start to recognize how the letters are joined, some of the specific rulings, some of the exceptions, and this is how it builds up. You have to have a solid foundation, inshallah, and that's what we want everyone to do. Begin with a solid foundation. Don't just recite the Qaeedah like, like there's no tomorrow, you're trying to finish today. So Muhammad Ali says, I'm doing a course on marriage and Al-Quran at Al Mustafa Center in Bradford. I started going this one, but I can't find Tajweed class and I don't know the level of my Tajweed. Alhamdulillah, at least, I applaud you for your efforts, and you need to do this. If you can't find a course in Tajweed, then do something else like you're doing. If you can't find Arabic, do Tajweed. If you can't do Tajweed, do Tafsir. This is the whole point. Don't waste time. And please remind myself as well. Please remind me, because I am kind of delaying continuing my Arabic studies, and I need to get back into it, inshallah. So with your help, with me reminding you and you reminding me, hopefully we will continue to study, inshallah. Okay, excellent. Now, where were we? Okay, now resources. The resources that we're going to use, I have said it from before, I'm trying my best to keep the resources which are already available online for free. I've always believed in not reinventing the wheel. So if I can bring you the tab here, and I will switch over to full screen, or maybe here. And let's check on my little Google site right now. We have a free resources section. And there are some, diagrams at the beginning, and then there's also the free PDF copies of, for example, Ahsan al-Qawaid, some basic Arabic, and then Tajweed Made Easy, the Tajweed of the Quran, which is a very good book in English for understanding the Tajweed of the Quran. You need a teacher for this one. It is very, very deep. And then for children, we have a complete series for Islamic education. From grades 1 to 12, everything you need, even if you never attend Madrassah, because you can't. If you study this book and you teach your child, this is a very good foundation, inshallah. Fortress of a Muslim who doesn't know that, or the Adhkar and Du'as. One possible book you could use, it's available, a summary of Islamic jurisprudence. I don't teach from that because I am not qualified to teach this book, but it's there for reference. You could use any book you wish, whatever madhabs or affiliations you have, but this is what we have at the moment to refer to. What I will teach from and learn together is this one, the Islamic education series, which is a lot more accessible and universal, inshallah. And there are some various other links at the moment. That's what I can comfortably do right now, because I am not a web administrator or web designer, unfortunately. So on that note, the thing that I said about needing help, if you have specific website skills, please inshallah get in touch. We want to redo the website. I have a domain, it's called HealMyTajweed.com. Unfortunately, don't have a website, and I'm waiting for someone to be able to do it, and inshallah, please let me know if you can do that. Okay, but for now, the Google site, which is a free one, as long as I give you the the link, you will be able to access all the resources on there. The second thing I am going to mention as well, if you have from before, the fact that I like tech stuff, we are going to use tech to teach and learn, and we will use Google Classroom, which you can see here. For example, one of the prerequisites for anyone who wants to study with us, we will always tell them you have to prepare 2 lessons. First one being the general articulation points, and which I will put through Google Classroom, and all our students will have to have access to, and this is very easily done because a lot of classes, a lot of schools now, they do teach and learn through Google Classroom. So for example, this one is about specific articulation points. It's from before when I was teaching, and we'll give you your instructions, and then we'll give you maybe a link where you can go and study this, so you can study at your own time. And then we'll also give you assignments through the Google Classroom, and you can hand in your assignment, whether it's an audio file, video file, or written file, whatever it is. And inshallah, in that way, there is no excuse for you not coming physically. That's why we're trying to facilitate for the online availability. Okay. Alright then, so where were we? So that's that. Next, I've got some notes I'm referring to. Okay, so that's the resources. So all the resources are available for you, inshallah. And when we get more, we'll add them. So the point is, you won't have to buy anything if you don't want to. Most of the resources are freely available to everyone, but there is also hard copies you can buy from Islamic bookstore. We don't sell any, so I'm trying my best to provide things which are already available that people use. Okay. One last thing about the Qaeedah. I know some people, they prefer some Qaeedahs over others. I personally don't have any problem with any Qaeedah, because in my my little world, the book is not as important as the teacher and the teaching method and the student. Because, for example, what you see in front of you is the Ahsan al-Qawaid. It is a very popular book. Some teachers don't like it. A lot of people use it. I don't have a preference, to be honest, because the letters don't matter. What matters is the sound, is understanding where they come from. And also, the script is not the Mushaf, the Medina Mushaf script. It's a different script. But again, we try and teach from at least 2 different scripts, so you become familiar with at least 2 types of Arabic writing. So a lot of people can learn without looking at the script. They can learn by just with sound, and that's what we're trying to focus on, is to learn irrespective of where you're learning the letter from, because the sound and the understanding and the knowledge of its characteristics is far more important. Okay, but I will certainly, inshallah, try to use other Qaeedahs as well. What is the Google site called? Muhammad Ali, the Google site is called, let me bring it back, here it is. It's called size.google.com. Okay, it's a free Google site. It's linked to my Google account right now. I will put the link, inshallah, in the description. But if you go to one of my previous videos, you will find the site there. This is just done so that everyone has access to whatever we are teaching in terms of resources, and no one has excuse to say they don't have a copy, because the whole point is to make it accessible, inshallah. Okay. Right, one last thing about the facilities we're going to use. Like we mentioned before with the Google classes, one thing that will differentiate us with other madrasas, inshallah, make dua, hopefully will be successful, is that I have done it before. I record every child's or every student's lessons, whether it's audio or video, of course with your permission, but it gets sent to your Google Drive, or at least to our Tajweed, HealMyTajweed Google Drive, whereby you can access the lessons. So for example, here we did it before, I've shown it before. Some of these students have left now, but I don't want to show you the recording. But what happens is, as soon as you do your lesson with us, we'll record you in a way whereby it's 2 clicks recording. It gets sent to your Google Drive. You have access to it, not other people, inshallah, or the people in your class will have access to it. So we each learn from each other, and then you can use this for recitation, for revision, for practice. Again, we're trying to eliminate the excuses that people have, that they did not come, they don't know what was done, or I did not understand. None of this excuse, because we will give you every letter that needs to be corrected as an audio file minimum. Hopefully visual as well for your parents. It's more for your parents to know and follow your progress. And if you're an adult, it's for yourself to keep as a reference. And that is one of the different things with us. We give you that because that's your lesson, that's your individual lesson, inshallah. And in that way, no one can come and tell me the next day, oh, I didn't know my mistakes. And we go, here we go, they were sent to you. So inshallah, I'm trying to give you as much help as possible, so that you don't find it difficult to pass your lessons and learn. Okay. Right, where am I? I've lost you guys now. I don't even know where I am. Okay, so you like Sheikh Husayri, mashallah. I mean, who can argue against that? Sheikh Husayri, probably the best Tajweed reciter that we know of, according to many teachers, and Allahu alam. Yes, no doubt about that. Okay, so that's that. So a couple of other news in terms of the madrasa. So what's going to happen is, next week is half term in London. From the, what's the date next week? Is going to be the 21st of October 2019 until the 25th, which is a Friday. That's half term holidays. So inshallah, I'm hoping to be able to hold some local classes here at this new location as a taster course, both for adults and for children. I will give more details towards the end of the day today or by tomorrow, inshallah. I need to know who wants to come to physically attend. We will record the event. We will try to live stream the event. But I will need to know exactly how many people will come so we can accommodate, because we can accommodate. We can't have a lot of people, but Allah knows best who will want to come. So if you are willing to come, you can, and you're in London, you can put your name down in the comments, or you can send me an email, or you can contact me on any social media platform and let me know whether you want to come, inshallah, and I will register your details, get in touch with you, make sure you're here. You won't have to bring anything. We'll provide all the resources, because it's going to be mostly a presentation. We're going to use tech, but you could feel free to bring your own copy of the Quran with Qaeedah. We will do a little assessment with you, and we'll try our best to live stream. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to be live streaming or recording anyone who does not want to be recorded, and those who don't want to, they will be at the back, and we're not going to film them. We're going to film mostly myself and the presentation, and anyone who is willing to come and maybe get tested or recite or participate or even correct us and teach us, then they could come in front with a microphone, inshallah. So hopefully that's going to happen. That's next week. So we will do this as a taster course for both children and adults. Now, I know what you're going to ask me, what about sisters? Right now I do not have a female teacher, unfortunately. Okay, so physically to receive sisters is going to be almost impossible. The only way we can do this is we have the venue. We could possibly put a separation for the sisters to seek, but I do not have a female mahram to be present to be able to do that. So if that changes, I will let you know. Unfortunately, don't get your hopes up. So for the sisters, just next week. If we can't do that, then you can at least join us online just for next week. All right. Now, the week after, which is going to be the 28th of October, inshallah, that would be the registration week, where I will hopefully be speaking to some parents and adults who want to come and study with us, do a little bit of an assessment and show you a bit of how it's going to go. And then on the 1st, which is a Friday, will officially start, inshallah. Now, I just want to make this clear. I'm in a new location. The local people don't really know us here, which is fine. Whether or not people turn up physically, inshallah, I will continue to do this online. But I'm hoping at least I have one student, because it will make it more interesting, okay? Okay, so that's that. Okay, now for those who do want to study, or for those female students, whether you're a child or adult, at the moment we do not have a female teacher. I repeat, we do not have a female teacher right now. We cannot take female students right now physically, but I'm working to offer that service online for now, at least. If it changes, then we will take female students. But if it doesn't, I'm very sorry. Right now, we can only take brothers. Okay? Right. Teaching method I've talked about, adult classes. Okay. In terms of the sessions, we will do, inshallah, both group sessions and one-to-one for those that need it. I recommend group sessions always, because sitting with other students, the way we teach and learn, it is more efficient to learn with other people, because you learn from their mistakes. And the way we teach, we try to get people engaged, so there's no time wasted. But we will have one-to-one as well if it needs to be done. And the last thing about the teaching is, I previously have said I did not want to teach online, or as in one-to-one. I'm not a big fan of online teaching at the moment. If we have low numbers, if I still have the ability to do that, I will, inshallah, try to keep some space for one-to-one online if possible. But because we don't have a website, we'll have to use a third-party website, one of those tuition websites or teaching websites, to host classes. We could do it one-to-one, we could do a group. It could be through Skype, it could be through Google Hangout, or one of those other third-party ones. Again, I will inform you, inshallah. Please bear with me. There's a lot that can be done, and because I have been doing tech work for a while, I won't use that knowledge and technology to, inshallah, facilitate for as many people as I can, but it will not happen overnight. Okay, alhamdulillah. Yeah, right. One last thing about the courses. This is a project I've been wanting to do for a long time, and this is to do specifically to new Muslim reverts, okay, or converts, whatever name you want to use or description. Okay, Muhammad Ali says, I can't physically come because I'm in Bradford. Is it I can still get tested on my Tajweed? Of course, Muhammad Ali, inshallah. All these details will be done. Again, if you can't come physically, we can do it online. I will give the updated details, inshallah. So just be a bit patient. But make sure you subscribed and follow us on our social media to get all the up-to-date information how you can still get tested. Okay? Right. So, Muslim reverts, if you're out there, this is a message to all the Muslim reverts. And if you know any Muslim reverts, especially recently, please get them this message. I will send out a separate poster and announcement for this. I am looking for a few Muslim reverts, and I had this project in mind for about a couple of years now. I've never been able to do it because I never had a place to do it from, because everywhere I was teaching from was limited. Alhamdulillah, with a new studio for my tech work and combining with the Tajweed, we can do this here, inshallah. So I'm looking for a few students. It doesn't matter how old you are. I would prefer you're an adult. Obviously, it'd be easier. Don't need anyone's permission. If you're a Muslim revert recently, I want to sit with you and go through the journey of learning the Tajweed of the Quran and starting with basic Arabic alphabet and learning how to write and to pronounce every letter. Go through the whole Qaeedah, inshallah, with success, and then take you to Quran. And when I reach my limit, and I do have a limit, that's where I'm going to pass you over to a teacher who has a lot more qualification, a lot more experience than myself to take you further. But alhamdulillah, I can, inshallah, with Allah's permission, take you to a very decent level where you're fluently reciting the Quran. I'm hoping. So if you're a Muslim revert, this is for you, right? Now, the only condition I have is two. Number one, please accept to be recorded, to be filmed, because we want to do this as a story, as a journey, as a catalog, as a journal for other people. Okay? One of the reasons is it's the book of Allah, and when you make an effort, Allah will help you. Okay? And to show anyone and everyone that inshallah it can be done. Like I mentioned, unless you've got a physical impairment, then probably you will find it difficult, and some people will take longer. But inshallah, I want to show that because Allah has promised it, that if you try to make an effort, of course it's going to help you and it will make it easy for you. Okay, so it can be done. Now the best thing is, inshallah, it's going to be fi sabilillah for you only, because we want to catalog the journey, because I'm going to need you to be here physically, hopefully. I don't want to do this online with the Muslim reverts because of the problem with the delay of the voice over internet protocol problems. I want to do this physically, hopefully, unless we got no other choice and there's no takers. But I'm hoping you can at least send me one person who is interested to go through the journey to learn the Quran, at least starting with learning how to pronounce letters, going through the Tajweed rules, and then going to Quran, inshallah. And I would love to see that progress. And please, inshallah, get in touch, and I will put you in the group. So I don't have a specific number of students in mind, but if you get in touch with your interest, we want to keep it small-ish, but that will be relative to how the group does. Okay, so that was the first condition. Accept to be recorded, inshallah. If you don't, that's fine, but we may not be able to do the project with you in terms of cataloging and recording and keeping evidence and transparency to show other people, inshallah, and to encourage everyone. Then you can always join our other classes. That's not a problem. But this one is specific for a journey through the Tajweed learning. Okay, the other condition is, please be respectful of our time and your time. That means punctuality, no excuses, and we will give you all the support that you need, inshallah. But you have to show interest, and if you don't show interest, I'm going to tell you from now on, and that goes for anyone. I don't mean to sound rude, but if you don't want to take the opportunity we're giving you, that's fine, that's your choice, but don't waste our time. I'm going to tell you, ma fi mushkila, khalas, you need to go. find someone else. We will always, keep our teaching and learning for everyone to benefit from, but when you're coming physically to us, if you're wasting our time and our resources, I'm sorry, but I've wasted enough of my time. I don't want to continue to do this. I don't want to allow other people to do this with me. So please, you will have to go. Okay? I hope that's clear. So wait for those updates, and let me see if there's anyone have any questions on that. Let me know. You might ask me why reverts only. There's a few reasons for this. One of the reasons is I want a blank slate, because when I've taught students who have a blank slate, there were very few. SubhanAllah, the difference is amazing. But for students who have learned the wrong way before, it is so difficult, and it can get very, very frustrating. Now, may Allah help us all become more patient. I don't know whether I still have, the ability, the strength to go through this with a lot of students, because we will have that as well. But I would like to be able to at least teach someone from a blank slate. I've taught all my children. I've got no one left in my family at the moment, so I'm gonna have to use, some new people, inshallah. Okay. Right. Where are we? Okay. So last thing I want to talk about, and how long has it been? It's been about 36 minutes. Okay, inshallah. Now I want to mention, last thing I want to talk about is, we did try this last time. You probably may know if you've been following the channel. I was in a small masjid. I do not want to mention the name. Those who know, they know. Those who don't, that's fine. But I want to give an example. When I went to that small masjid, we went with a proposal to conduct madrassah there for, HealMyTajweed for the both adults and children, whoever is coming. Now, there were a lot of difference of opinions in terms of the masjid's own philosophy, whatever madhab they adhere to. But we made it very clear, and I went with my teacher, that we're not going to interfere with their day-to-day running of the masjid, and they're not going to interfere with our teaching and learning during our madrasa time. And if they have any problem with what we teach, because we were so transparent, all our resources were online, then they could refuse for us to go and do that. But alhamdulillah, the agreement went okay when we started, and they were fine with we were fine with it. Now, I only lasted 2 months there. I did start the Google Classroom. I did start the new madrasa style. We had 2 problems. The first one, we couldn't find a teacher to come and help. Unfortunately, we did interview quite a lot of people. And but then the biggest problem we had was, unfortunately, I wasn't able to continue to be there because there was a problem with tajweed from some of the people leading salah at the time, and it was bad. It was not just bad in minor mistakes, they were making major mistakes. Because that place did not have a regular imam, they used to get a lot of different people to come. The biggest mistake that was made was they used to get people to come without listening to them reciting. They would just put people in front of the musalla and just lead salah. And I was shocked when I heard some of the recitation. A few of them, I spoke to them and I said, maybe come and we'll help you to correct your recitation, because you cannot be making major mistake in Surah Al-Fatiha, for example. But the other problem we had was, during that time, we were teaching students, adults, and children as well. So when we were saying we are focusing on tajweed quality, and then you come to the masjid, you would hear that imam reciting, and you would wonder what's going on, and you won't understand the difference that we're not there as part of the masjid, but just as the madrasa, because we're going to get associated with this. We compromise on a lot, and I can tell you we compromise on a lot of differences, because we said, okay, we're not going to interfere with that. That's your choice, your opinion, whatever opinion you follow. You don't interfere with us, so we compromise a lot. But one thing I was not willing to compromise on anymore is that someone is changing the letters of the Quran when they're leading salah. I said no. I said, look, if you can't find an imam that has, the at least good enough tajweed to not make major mistakes, fine. During that time, when we're there physically, we have to pray behind. I was leading salah sometimes, because sometimes there was not someone else to lead, and I had no choice. So we said to them, okay, no problem, let us lead salah amongst us who are students, and maybe hopefully inshallah in time you'll find an imam who can actually recite with good tajweed and not make major mistakes. Our offer, our option was turned down numerous times. And I'm sorry, but I'm not going to be praying behind someone who is making major mistakes in their recitation in Surah Al-Fatiha. Not to mention what they do after Salah, that's a different story. And then I'm not going to allow my students to pray behind someone when my students, they have learned, alhamdulillah, enough to know that's a major mistake. You can't be turning the letter Sad to a Dad, for example. That's not acceptable. Not in Surah Al-Fatiha. You know? So we put a stop to it. They refused to budge on that. All we said was, during that time, at least allow us to lead Salah during our Madrassah time. They said no. So I put a stop to it. I said, in that case, I cannot say to people, especially I'm trying to be online, that we want to focus on Tajweed and then you're coming and you're listening to this. The Musallis, some of the parents, they came and asked me questions about what's going on. Why is this Imam reciting like this? And it had nothing to do with me. I was not part of the committee or the masjid. So unfortunately, I couldn't even answer them. So we had to put an end to it. Okay, unfortunately. So that was the reason why I stopped teaching from there. And after this, obviously, we had all these issues with family issues, with the health. And I focused on my tech work for a long time. But I've always wanted to find a place like this. Alhamdulillah, we have it now. So inshallah, make dua and join us. We will try to do the best we can from here, inshallah. Muhammad Ali says, I hate people in Taraweeh who speed through the Quran. It is so disrespectful. I don't understand why they read in this matter. Muhammad Ali, I could not agree with you more. This Ramadan, I also went to one masjid specifically. They were doing two different Taraweeh time slots. The first one was okay, was really nice. The Imam was, mashallah, really, really good. I enjoyed recitation. Sometimes I went a bit late to the second one just to check. Oh, subhanallah, was unbelievably bad. Like you said, the speed, changing the letters, didn't understand what they were reciting, no tajweed, is bad, and I don't know neither. May Allah rectify our condition, inshallah. Okay, so that's that. I hope it makes sense. So, alhamdulillah, if you want to help, let me know. Get in touch with myself. Let's learn together. There's a lot of things I need to learn myself, and I'm looking for your help as much as you're looking for help from myself, inshallah. Too many self here. Have you got any questions? I'm going to need to check on here. Please, if you see my messages, my posters, on any other social media platform, try to send it out to people. I'm not going to repeat the mistakes I've made last time by taking on too much that I can handle. Because right now, I'm pretty much kind of by myself. Not to say there is not people willing to help. Alhamdulillah, there are. It's just maybe physically they don't have the time or the ability right now. I'm just saying in terms of what I can offer, I will be very careful with taking as little as I can. The focus is local students, but every lesson should be online. And even last time we did not have internet in the other place, so I was not able to live stream. But this time, alhamdulillah, the internet here is really good, mashallah. So I'm hoping I can set up for live streaming. Of course, if you want to contribute to the project with any donation, it will be more than welcome. There will be a PayPal link, paypal.me/HealMyTajweed, or any other way you want to contribute. Please get in touch with myself. The Tajweed on tour will have to continue once I get some physical help for that one, because it is difficult to do that by myself because carrying the equipment, doing the presentation, and then afterwards the editing is difficult. Because when I'm there, I'm trying to host and teach and correct. There's all the equipment, and sometimes it goes really bad. Two of the masjids we went to, the audio was a problem, but I tried to make do. One of the masjid, I lost a lot of footage because there was not enough people to kind of sort that out. So I want to continue the Tajweed on tour, inshallah. But please, I need someone to kind of at least tag along. All right. Alhamdulillah. So let's recap. New madrasa opening, inshallah. Details will be in the description. There will be a site, which is Google site right now. You can find application forms there, the location. You can get in touch with myself. That's going to be for adults and children. We're starting with children Monday to Friday, 5 to 7. We will try to live stream most of the classes for you to also join in. Number 2, the adult classes will happen daytime, weekdays, maybe evening, but it depends on people's availability. I will decide on a specific time if you show me your interest. Again, go to the link, find out where to get information from and register your interest by getting in touch with myself. Number 3, if you have any ability or willingness to help in the project, please get in touch with myself. You do not have to know Tajweed, but at least if you're willing to learn, it will be a great help, inshallah. And number 4, next week, I'm going to be holding some classes during half term at this location. Again, details below. Some free taster courses for adults and children. At the moment, we are not able to facilitate for sisters. If that changes between now and next week, I will update everyone. Number 5, there's a special free course of Tajweed for reverts to Muslim reverts or converts. And I'm looking to catalog this whole experience. So if you know anyone, please send them this video, send them the message, send them the various posters or announcements I'm going to have, inshallah. And we will form a group for them specifically and we'll follow them with this journey. And where are we? Number 6, I don't even remember. The website I've mentioned, we don't have one right now, but if you have any administrative or website skills, please get in touch with myself. And yeah, that's about it. So I'm going to take my leave, but before this, I will remind you, if you have not opened your Quran today, inshallah, please do so. A few minutes, all it takes, a bit of Tajweed, a bit of tafsir, a bit of hifz, whatever you can, you know, it does help. Best time is in the morning, obviously, but that's not to say you only, if you skip that, you can't do it, inshallah. In fact, after this, if you haven't done it yet, just go and open your Quran and learn something. Learn a word. Learn even to write the letter. Which, by the way, I'm going to remember to also mention, part of the Tajweed, I do have an Arabic writing course, which is complementary part and parcel of learning Tajweed. It is very important. It does help a lot with making your Tajweed even better, inshallah. Okay, it will be taught as well. Okay, so any questions? I need to check my phone because this is not working. So anyone has any question? Where are we? 46 minutes. Wow, that's a lot of time. No questions? Anyone has any tips? Or also, the last thing, I forgot the Tajweed on tour. I've always mentioned, if you live in a place which is not near me, then if there's a masjid which will be interested in receiving us to give a, hopefully inshallah, a taster course of, you know, developing a, you know, at least starting to learn Tajweed, like we've done with the 4 masajis we've gone to, the Tajweed on tour, 4 of them, then let me know, get in touch with me, get in touch with them, tell them we want to come and hopefully encourage them to start learning Tajweed and forming their own local community for learning. Okay, right, I think inshallah that will be it. So look forward to the announcements. Follow us on YouTube, subscribe, enable the bell notification icon. You can also join me on Facebook, on Twitter, Instagram. Although I will be honest, I am not very active on all social media platforms. I think there's also Instagram, but you probably have guessed it by now. I am not active because I don't like social media. I'm a little bit more active on the tech side of it because that's what I do mostly, but not on the Tajweed side. Again, if you are a social media guru, if you are a social media teacher, please, I need your help. Come and help us trying to, you know, spread the message, inshallah. Okay. Khalas. Ma'a salama. So subscribe, leave me a comment, get in touch, join us, study with us, teach us, correct us, inshallah. And check out my HealMyTech website, sorry, HealMyTech channel up there somewhere for the tech aspect. And I hope to see you soon. And those who need online help, get in touch with me. We'll arrange something for Skype or Google Hangout for now. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This was Ashik from HealMyTajweed, helping you read.